What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the LIV'N podcast. We have another very special guest here with us today. We have one of the dopest, flyest, most amazing hairstylists in the city, and really all around because she travels a lot too. So, with not further ado, we have Hairica Baca. Thanks for hopping on.
Of course. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yes, awesome. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah,
Love it. It's a good Monday morning, so
hell yeah.
blessed.
So yeah, I kind of just want to like hop right into it, and
Mm-hmm.
so we can give people what they want.
Cool.
So everybody that knows you, knows you for your hair and your styling and the braids and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But before that all started, like, who were you and like what was life like before you got into this industry?
So I was raised in Thornton, so I was pretty much just a regular girl. I worked a job. I was customer service manager at American Furniture.
Okay,
I was always athletic, so I played sports and I worked out a lot. And I just worked a regular job. So I just wanted to have fun. Didn't really know growing up what I wanted to be. So I kind of just went into a corporate job and started living that way.
right.
So it was really just about work, regular 9 to 5, hanging out with friends and family. And then that's kind of the only vision I had for myself
I got you.
at that point.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So going from I guess corporate, I guess what switched for you or what triggered you to want to do something else, do something different?
Yeah, so I was actually, I always wanted to do hair,
Hmm.
but in my family, they weren't excited about me being a hairstylist. I had a father that was like, no, I don't want you working at Great Clips. And then I had a brother who was in college and was performing at a very high level there. So that was the place and path he wanted me to take to.
Okay.
But I was working out. I got asked to do a photo shoot for a clothing brand,
Okay.
workout apparel, and they got my hair and makeup done for me.
Right.
And I just looked at the makeup artist's studio. She had her own studio. She had a nice car. She was well put together. And so I started asking her questions like, what else do you do? Because in my head, I didn't think that you can actually do just makeup.
Right.
So she just told me, like, no, this is all I do. I run my own business. I just do makeup. And I was like, that's wild. I could do makeup and hair.
Right.
Like, I love both of them. And I've always done well at that. After that, I researched beauty schools. I was a customer service manager. So I had to do a night school.
Okay.
So the only night school that I could go to was Paul Mitchell, which was in Belmar.
Right.
And I lived in Thornton. But I was like, whatever, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to work Monday through Friday pretty much at my corporate and then also go to night school. So that's what I did. It kind of was just one of those things where they didn't want me to go into that path, but I didn't want to necessarily have their life either.
Right.
And I was at the age where I was just like, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to go for it. I see that there's a little glimmer of hope
Yeah.
because somebody else is doing it. So I'm just going to go for it too.
Right.
I signed up for school and started the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
Like 2 weeks from there, I started school.
That's badass.
Yeah, it was wild. It wasn't something that I thought about for a long time. I think all I needed was that little glimmer of hope that somebody's doing it.
Right.
And that was enough for me to be like, well, if you can do it, I can too. And I'm already doing good for myself.
Yeah.
So I was like, I work hard and I love that. So let's try it.
Yeah.
And I just jumped in.
Yeah. Killing it. And so, how did you manage like the family dynamic? Because, families are important to a lot of people, and
Hmm.
their opinions, do have some weight on it as well.
Yeah.
So knowing that they didn't want that for you, but you did it anyways, how do you kind of navigate those conversations and those feelings about that?
So the way I approached it was pretty much I know that everything came from a loving place,
Right.
They were more worried about how am I going to financially take care of myself. I was already 24, which is pretty late starting school in the beauty industry. A lot of
Yeah.
girls go straight from high school.
Right.
And I had a really good job already. So everything that they were saying it wasn't to hurt my feelings or anything. It was just, how are you going to be able to make enough money?
Right.
But it didn't it didn't bother me because I believed that I was going to, because I seen it. Like, I knew that there was more in the industry than just working at Great Clips.
Yeah.
So I I did it anyways without caring what they said. And also knowing it came from a loving place, and all I had to do was prove them wrong
Right.
out of love.
Yeah.
Like, like we come from Thornton. Nobody really leaves Thornton. Nobody, my mom works at King Supers, and she's grown up the ladder and pretty much runs it.
Okay.
So, she's doing that. My brother knows very corporate, and my father is a different breed. And honestly, like, I didn't want any of their lives, so I just chose to create my own
Right.
with them not understanding yet,
Yeah.
but knowing that one day they would see it.
Yeah.
And if not, also, who cares? With love.
Yeah. It's your life.
Yeah. Yep. So that's kind of, we didn't speak too deep on it. I'm just going to do whatever I want, and you guys, can like it or not.
Yeah.
So.
And it's cool that you did that for yourself and you bet on yourself for that, because I think kind of the old school mentality is just like, the corporate 9 to 5 job would feel safe, but it's actually kind of ironic because like they can get rid of you at any moment.
Yeah.
So it's like, is it really that safe? Granted, like starting up your own shop, like you're betting on yourself and you're depending on yourself. So you rise and fall with you versus like, oh no, could I go in and lose my job today?
Yeah.
So I think it's hard for people to see that, especially like parents, because how they grew up and whatnot.
And I will be honest, I did want to go to barbering school right out of high school. I mean, I like tested into Emily Griffith. So the initial way I started was realizing that there was already doubt there, and I
Right.
listened to it when I was younger.
Yeah.
And then that was when I was 18, 19 years old, but then
Yeah.
I got a good job. So I was like, well, I'll do that later, or I'll do it for fun.
Right.
And it was wanting to please my parents and make them proud. So I did listen to them for a certain amount of time until that opportunity came up. And I seen that what they were saying was uneducated, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Because they just didn't know anything other than Great Clips.
Right.
So it was the moment that I decided to do it anyways was after years of realizing that they're not doing anything I want to do because I've seen it. And I've also experienced a good job, and I don't want to do this.
Right.
Like having a 401k, having health insurance, having the consistent pay, and also being able to rise to an extent was nice for that moment. But at 24 years old, is this good enough for me?
Right.
And so I did have a little bit of that people pleasing at the beginning of my story, but I didn't stay there for very long.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's good. So we go to school, you get through school, and then it's like, all right, now I'm done, I'm graduated. So now it's like, all right, now I got to get clients. Now I got to like build a brand for myself. So what was that process like for you, starting from scratch in this new industry?
Yeah, that was a wild ride. So when I first graduated, I was actually more interested in doing more editorial photo shoots.
Okay.
And makeup for photo shoots. So I had a really great friend who was already doing that. So we would work together all of the time. But the only thing with that is in Colorado, there's not a lot of that work that isn't volunteer or collab work. So I did that for 2 years.
Okay.
And I only worked for 1 year of that, like at a second job. But there came a point where it just wasn't enough. I almost started like believing my family because I wasn't making any money, and I was loving what I did. I made incredible art. Like, we made incredible things together, and it was great spiritually, but financially I still need to be realistic, right?
Right.
So for 2 years I was just doing that, and then decided to get into an actual salon. So in order to get into a salon, though, I felt like it would be better to assist somebody. So one of the guys that I look up to that does a lot of editorial work, he owns his own salon in Cherry Creek.
Okay.
And I always kind of kept an eye on what he was doing because it was inspiring. So I was like, if I'm going to be in a salon, I want to be in a salon that still gives me editorial and runway.
Right.
So if I work with him, then I can do both and grow in a different area that I hadn't practiced.
Yeah.
So I ran into him doing a photo shoot for a different artist. And I just walked right up to him and introduced myself and was like, hey, at the time I was still going by Hairica Baca. So I was like, I'm Hairica Baca.
Right.
I love your work and I want to work with you. I'll be your assistant. Like, you don't have to pay me. Like, I'll be your assistant, you know? Like, I just really wanted him to know that I wanted to work with him.
Right.
And then, he took to it very well, which you never know.
Yeah.
It's crazy kind of just doing something like that. But
Shooter shoot.
I knew exactly what I wanted. And I also did the research on, the people that I admired the most and where they worked and stuff like that.
Right.
So when I seen him, I took the opportunity, and he told me that he already had 2 assistants.
Oh, wow.
But he knew of a hairstylist at the salon who was looking for one currently.
Okay.
So he gave her my information, and we got a interview set up probably like within that next week or so. And she liked me enough to hire me. So I assisted for about 6 months.
Okay. And what does that look like? Like, what is a hair assistant? I personally haven't heard of that before. So.
Yeah. So it's like an old, I don't know how to say this. Usually when you come out of beauty school, you want to become an assistant to a stylist that you want to do their style, you know, because it's pretty much like your hourly small job first to get your feet wet. You're sweeping, you're getting coffee.
Gotcha.
You know, regular, like almost like an office assistant. Like you get to see and like observe everything, but you're not doing anything quite yet.
Yeah.
You might wash hair, but
you just don't hop right in the surgery out of doctor school, medical school.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I got
exactly. So it's like the same thing. She was she was great at what she did, but I think also seeing and experiencing what she was doing and what everybody in the salon was doing. And then I would be able to take, on her days off, she would allow me for free to take my own clients.
Okay.
You know, so that was awesome. So between having a full-time job, assisting her, and then on my days off, I was taking in my own clients. So after doing that for 6 months, I realized I could do this on my own.
Right.
Like, I'm making $100 a day, maybe. All right. I'm 24, 25
Right.
at this time. Like,
Yeah.
that's not a good feeling. And I really was good at what I did. I'm very diligent. So I was like, I'm just going to go get a studio and I'm going to do this on my own. And this was 2020.
Oh.
Yeah. So I got my studio in Phoenix, or the Phoenix like salon studios,
Right.
in December of 19, opened it January. So I did get my feet wet a little bit with clients, but because I went back to Thornton, Northland area, everybody just came to me from high school and my family and my friends because I was still in the neighborhood. So it wasn't, for me, the struggle of getting clients wasn't too hard.
Okay.
But I worked hard and I said yes to everybody all of the time. So I think just being available for me and letting everybody know what I did, like constantly posting where I was at and what I was doing. And that was already years built into me going to school for 2 years.
Right.
Because it was night school. So some programs, you're there for like 6 to 8 months and then you're out in the field. It took me 2 years to graduate. So for 2 years, everybody's been following my Facebook mostly at the time.
Yeah.
Knew that I did hair. So when I was like, all right, I'm doing hair, this is my studio, people were ready to come.
Right.
So it was a beautiful blessing, but also it was a slow progress to get there.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely.
So
Yeah. So what would you, I mean, like sacrificing money early on and even time, what other sacrifices would you say you made until you really, got a flow and started really like, going in your career?
I feel like the sacrifice of relationships, like, not really seeing my family that much because I always would work. I'm still very much so like this. It's something I try to work on, but also I just love what I do, so it's not that easy. But I sacrificed shopping, because I didn't have the money, and appearance is a huge confidence thing, but to me that was like I had nice clothes, I had decent clothes. I wore sweats most of the time.
Yeah.
I didn't pay to get my lashes done or my nails done. I did them myself. Um, I sacrificed going out and partying a lot during the come up of my time,
Right.
because I had to work and because it wasn't actually a huge sacrifice to me because I was doing what I did. But the only people that I ever really talked to was my clients, or nope, that's it, just my clients.
Yeah.
You know, the no going on trips. I didn't take trips for so long.
Right.
So I feel like, but the biggest one's going to be time.
Yeah.
Time and money for sure were the biggest sacrifices because even when you're starting up, I didn't have the confidence to charge, what I was worth.
Yeah.
And it's still something I struggle with because I do everything out of love. So when you bring money into it, I just didn't understand how to charge correctly.
Right.
Plus, adding on the business stuff, like, now we have rent for a studio. Now we have insurance for your business. And then hair product at the same time. Like the
Yeah.
margins, I didn't understand. So most of it was money, a lot of volunteer work, doing events and photo shoots for free just to build up a portfolio. So that would be the biggest thing. Everything else, I don't consider a sacrifice because it wasn't a priority to me, anyways. You know?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
time and money.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you.
Money's done.
Was there a switch with your family when they saw you like really starting to get into the salon and getting people in? Did they like have like a different level of respect for you, or was it still like I don't know if you should be doing this or?
Yeah, there's definitely, but it took a couple of years. I mean, my mom's always gonna, love and support me. But there's also different things that people say, I think, especially when you know them, when they're trying to give you certain advice,
Right.
whether they trust and believe in you as much as you believe in yourself, you
Right.
know? But the last few years, I've been in the hair industry for about 9 to 10 years now.
Okay.
Different parts of the industry though. So, but I would say that now at this point, specifically my brother, who has a huge leadership role in my life, somebody I look up to and I admire a lot. So he finally, I wouldn't say finally like that, but he now believes in what I do. He sees it, you
Right.
know. He could see that it's more than just, doing hair, that there's no security in it, and it's still always just a risk because
Yeah.
I'm self-employed.
Yeah.
So I don't have, anybody paying for insurance for me, like, or a 401k, or retirement is a huge one
Right.
that could be scary, but he's definitely, talks about the clients that I have, and he'll call me and be like, "Hey, I referred you to this person," like set up things even in his industry, and he does more corporate stuff, but he'll still say my name in rooms that I'm not
Right.
in completely different places. So that just shows that he is shifted over to, this is what my sister does, this is who she is, and she's really good at it.
Right.
So it's nice to hear that from him
Yes.
finally.
I love that for you.
Thank you.
And so, I mean, anybody that knows you knows you're a freaking busy bee and a
Yeah.
workaholic, and which is great. But the word burnout comes to mind. And so how do
Yeah.
you navigate or control those because you're still a human being at the end of the day. We all are, and we all experience
Mm.
burnout and just maybe senses of being overwhelmed with things in life. So like, how do you deal with that mentally and physically when you reach those moments?
Yeah. Burnout's a huge issue for me. I'm still trying to find the balance of it, but I think that's the biggest thing is balance. Um, is balance and routine. So routine helps me keep my balance. My morning routine is a huge thing. And I can always tell when I'm not on my routine.
Yeah.
So
And what is
what
that routine?
That's a great question. In the morning, I like to wake up pretty early, and I'll drink my water before my coffee, usually. And then I'll read my book for anywhere from like 10 to 20 minutes, depending on kind of how tired I am.
Okay.
Once I do that, I'll make it to the gym. Most of the time, it's like for 45 minutes. But
Yeah.
if it's taking me a little longer to get up and going, then I'll do at least 25 minutes. So it's going to be my like water, coffee, reading, getting my mind right, and then my workout. And then in the morning, I don't listen to music. I listen to podcasts.
Yep.
So I'm a huge fan of Mel Robbins.
Yes, Mel Robbins. She's dope.
Yeah, I had a dream last night that I hugged her.
Aw.
It's because I'm reading her book, and I'm reading her book right now, and I'm almost done with it. So I think
Right.
it was just a little bit of,
Yeah, yeah,
I
I
want to
got
meet
you.
her. But yeah, so I'll listen to podcasts on the way to work, and then one amp song right when I'm getting off the highway, and I know I have like 2, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll put on that like amp song, and then I'll get to work.
Okay.
So it's it's structured usually like that. Not every day is perfect, and not
Right.
every day I get to do those things. But if I do that every morning, specifically on the days I work, the shift in how I work and how I manage stress is completely different to when I'm not doing it.
Right.
So I don't have a night routine because my time is so inconsistent.
Right. Yeah, you
I
don't.
never know what time I'm gonna get off. Like, it's just, I don't know. When I'm done, I'm done
Whenever you
from
walk
start
out.
to
Yeah.
finish. So I don't like to set, I tried it before and I feel like a failure because it's so, some days I do it and some days I don't. So I don't have a night routine at all.
Yeah.
But
Nothing wrong with that.
yeah, right?
Yeah. So overall, what would you say to the viewers of like having a routine or having like these daily habits, and the importance of that in their own lives, no matter what they do?
It's so important to have routine, and routine is what gets you balance. So if you don't have something that you do, especially if you have an inconsistent, like busy, always on the go lifestyle, I feel like it's the only way that's going to keep you able to manage your stress,
Right.
and it's going to allow you the time to give yourself time,
Right.
alone time. I'm somebody who needs a lot of alone time. And if I can't always give it to myself, but that's when I usually tell that burnout comes.
Right.
And I weathered burnout very well because I'm so obsessed with what I do.
Yeah.
So I'll sacrifice myself, my like mental health,
Right.
and the things that I love doing to pour into myself. I'll sacrifice that all for clients. But because I've burnt out so much and they've only gotten worse, I prioritize routine now because that's the only way that I can manage my stress levels and give myself the love and the nourishments that I need
Right.
for myself, because we're only human. We only have so much energy to give others. You can be passionate about anything,
Right.
but if you don't take care of yourself and you're going to fail or you're going to get sick.
Yeah,
So it's like if
definitely.
you want to keep doing what you're obsessed with, take care of yourself, have your routine, have your habits that you do, and know that it's for the best. It's for your own well-being.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's huge. And your job, you have to talk to people all day, It's what
yeah.
you're doing hair and you're talking,
Mhm.
and you're an unofficial therapist as well, and
Oh
all the
yeah.
things
I'm a
with,
therapist.
yes. Yes.
Hairica the therapist.
I love that, I know you're listening to all my BS the other day, and
I love it.
um, which is great. And, it's cool that you can be there, for people as you're, doing their hair. But like, as you pour into other people, who pours into you?
Mm,
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to say any names, but do you have
yeah.
people that, like you can like lean on and that, can give you what you need when, the day's
I
over?
feel like yes, to an extent. I think I'm very private, and I don't usually like asking for help. So I wouldn't say that there are people that I go to. I rely on God mostly,
Okay.
because to me, I really don't think everybody else has their own stuff going on.
Right.
Can I hear about their stuff, you know? So
Right.
it's like, if you're telling me this, I don't want to put my stuff on you.
Right.
So I would say there are people that I have in my life when just being around them lifts me up.
Yeah.
You know, there are a couple of my girlfriends, but mostly me. Like it's really I just need to be alone. I could usually figure out my own things. Um and I know that I could usually work through my own stuff.
Right.
So if I allow myself the time to just be alone and analyze my own feelings, analyze what's going on in my life, you know, take the time to just be still,
Yeah.
that's usually what it takes for me to recharge. I
Yeah.
don't necessarily look for other people to pour into me. I'd rather people not take away from me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like because I'm always giving and giving and I love it.
Right.
But yeah, so I think my charge up is really just being calm and still and not being around anybody else's energy but my own until I get to a certain level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
And
makes sense.
not everybody loves that. You know, I get some like, why don't you come to me about this? If you're going through this, why didn't you tell me this? Or,
Yeah.
you know, on my days off, there are times where I don't answer my phone. You know, I don't call people randomly just to talk. Like I'm not that person. I just want to be left alone. Maybe I'll drive up to the mountains with me and my dog.
Right.
You know, maybe I'll just stay in my room or I'll just deep clean my house
Yeah.
or I'll go to the gym for hours and just get lost in my own head. Whatever it is that I feel like doing or whatever's going to give me energy is usually alone time or the thing that I want to do for me.
Right.
And that's what like fills me up the most. So I don't rely on other people to fill me up. I just rely on myself.
Yeah, that's good. And I
Mhm.
think it's important because you're self-aware. It's like, hey, I know what I need and I can do
Mhm.
that. And if push came to shove and you really did need somebody in a moment, I'm sure there's a bunch of people you could call or whatever
Yeah.
if it
Yeah,
did come
certain
to
people
that.
are for certain things, you
Yeah,
know? Yeah.
definitely. So, so being this boss woman and the entrepreneur world, what struggles do you kind of come to or deal with on maybe a daily basis, yearly basis, monthly basis, just being a woman that's self-employed in this world?
So I'm 35 now. So I think right now in this point in my life, is being single. I get a lot of struggle with people asking me why I'm still single or you don't want kids, you don't want to get married, like
Right.
you know, like you're gonna be alone the rest of your life and stuff like that. So,
That's what people tell you?
well, I mean, yeah, so,
Jeez.
you know, some people, well, pretty much because I'm not intentionally looking for
No,
anything,
yeah, yeah.
and I'm 35. You know, it's like
Right.
the judgment of like you tell somebody like you're 35, you don't have kids, or you're not, you know, with
Yeah.
anybody, like you, and I think it's unintentional, but it's just like the way that we are as a society. You
Right,
know what I'm
yeah.
saying? It's just like, oh shoot, like there's something really wrong with you.
Right.
But I think that's really it's a struggle right now, but I don't have the time to date. I
Yeah.
don't have the energy to date.
Right.
Um, but other than something like that, uh,
Yeah.
no.
Well, is it
No.
actually a struggle if it's not a priority?
I think it's a small struggle. It's like a baby one, you
Yeah.
know, like it doesn't consume me by any
Right.
means because I love my life.
Yeah.
But it is one of those things where when you do sit down and I do have that alone time, it's like, okay, like, you know, my brother's married and he has a beautiful family
Right.
and it's beautiful to see.
Yeah.
Um, and then when I think about the future or like even having achievements and not being able to share it with a person to like watch it happen,
Right.
you know, that could be a little lonely. So it is a struggle because I think we do crave to have companionship,
Right.
but also it doesn't consume me because I know that I don't have the time to put into a good relationship right now or a
Right.
healthy one, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it sometimes is like, oh, maybe I should settle down or, you know, but I work with men. And the struggle with that is I work with men and I work late, I work early, I do house calls. So a lot of men aren't comfortable with that either, you know?
Yeah.
So I think the struggle of also finding a relationship that works with my lifestyle,
Right.
being a 35-year-old woman, probably is the biggest because I don't see anybody as competition. I love collaboration, not competition. So whatever is mine is already mine. So that's never been something I struggled with. Um, finances, there's money comes, money goes. There's seasons to it. Um, Learning how to do business is really hard for me
Yeah.
because I'm emotional. So if I could do hair for free, I would.
Yeah.
You know, if I could just hang out with a bunch of people, do their hair, make them feel good, make them look good, have good like conversations like we usually have at our appointments,
Right.
I wouldn't need money for that. I would just love doing it.
Right.
So the finance part of it, making sure the business part is done correctly or done to a way that I could survive off of it
Right.
would also be it, is taking like that emotion out of business.
Right.
So, yeah, having, time for relationship and not being so emotional when it comes to finances is probably my biggest obstacle as being a female in business,
Yeah.
Everything else, it's just doing what I love. So,
Right.
you know.
Yeah. So on the financial part, is it just like, are you saying like what you charge? Is it the
Um,
emotional side of things or
I
what?
think, yeah, because I think and knowing, like being in a salon and talking to all the girls, and I hear even like, in the salon when somebody else is charging and their clients like, oh, how much? And it's like, just like, I don't know. And then
Right.
you hear them like cut them. I've done it. I'm very, very like guilty of not charging people, even if my price is listed.
Right.
Sometimes I'll be like, oh, but it took me a little longer. I'll get in my own head.
Yeah.
Like, oh, but it didn't come out exactly how they wanted it. Or, oh, I was running a little behind, like with my last client. So they waited for 5 minutes or 10 minutes.
Right.
Like you put all these excuses to where, like, now you're chopping these little discounts and you're only paying for the product that you used instead of actually getting paid for your time and your talent and the product.
Right.
So emotionally, or like, oh, she's going through this, let me give her a discount. Like it's his birthday. But no,
Yeah.
it's good. Just have a great birthday. Drinks on me. It's
Right.
$200. Like, what did I just do?
Yeah.
Or not charging late fees, not charging cancellation fees, and just little stuff like that because you're too understanding. You want to be understanding towards people. So for me, the that's where financially it doesn't help me at all.
Gotcha.
So it's just about the balance of understanding business, and I have gotten like way better at it. So I'm
That's good.
emotional. Yeah, I'm emotional, but because I understand that and I'm self-aware of that,
Yeah.
I do more business studying
Right.
than I do hair studying at this point.
Right.
I feel like I've already gotten to a level where I don't need to study because I just do hair,
Right.
but I don't understand business. It's not my natural.
Yeah.
So I have to work harder.
Yeah.
And I do. And I mean, my business is successful. I don't have another job. I literally make all my money off my hands and talking.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yes, I love
So
it.
it's pretty crazy to think about.
Right. And you work with hundreds, not thousands of people, at least, in your decade of being in the industry. So we know that like not everybody is a peach to work with. So the difficult clients you have had in the past or that you do have maybe currently, how do you deal with those type of people?
I'll fire someone. I'll fire him. There was a point where I had a client, and that client would just, the moment that I knew that person was coming in, my energy would completely depleted. They weren't even there yet, but just
Wow.
seeing the name on my count, like on my appointment, was
Right.
just like, I don't want to do this. I hate this. Why am I doing this? Like, there's never had a good conversation with this person. Why do I keep doing it? And I've had my coworkers, clients be like, what just happened?
Right.
Like, what's going on? Because I'm a very obvious person.
Yeah.
My energy's strong. So, when we're in the salon, we're having a good time. And then when you notice that I'm not talking to my client
Yeah.
and I'm just like doing their hair
Like, let's get
so
through this as
fast,
quick
like,
as we
let's
can.
hurry
Yeah.
up. Like, and then when they're trying to talk to me and I don't have the energy to be able to, like, talk to them or connect with them,
Right.
people noticed it. And the moment that somebody told me they noticed it, I was like, I have to get rid of this person
Yeah.
because that's not who I am. I've and so I did. I cut him off. I just sent them a text message and I was like, hey, this isn't working out for me.
Yeah.
Or you, because every time I do your hair, it's never exactly to, the quality that you want.
Right.
So I think it's best for you to go find somebody who can give you exactly what you want.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to refer you to anybody, but, good luck.
Yeah.
So I think it's energy. If you're disturbing my peace by just your presence, there's a problem.
Right.
If there are people who don't quite disturb me like that, I'll just raise their price because now you are spending extra time and energy on me.
Right.
So it's just like, all right, like you're going to keep coming in. I appreciate it. It is business at the same time.
Right.
So, but your price is this.
Yeah.
And that probably has some people's heads turning because it sounds horrible, but still my energy.
Yeah.
Like you can come and get your hair done, but the extra headache is going to cost you
Yeah.
$30.
I mean, yeah, it's your business too. You can do what you want.
Yeah.
Netflix raises prices all the freaking
Well,
time.
and it's almost like, like you keep raising the price on them, then eventually they're going to leave.
Yeah, it's like we'll force them out.
So yeah, so either if I know I can no longer work with this person for sure, I'm going to give you the text message that's like, hey, I want you to get what you want. You deserve to get what you want. You're paying for it.
Right.
I can't be that we're not, right for each other.
Right.
It's just like a relationship, like
Yeah.
it's if we're not compatible, we're not compatible. I'm not starving for money.
Yeah.
And there are plenty of amazing hairstylists in Colorado and all over the world. Somebody's your match.
Right.
So, go find them.
Yeah.
And that's cool. Like it's all love.
Yeah.
So,
I got you.
I like to be transparent, I like to be honest, and that's how I take care of them. But I also know that, like, when you get bad of one that you don't enjoy, 3 more will come.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
Yeah. So, so after a decade, that's a long time. Not a long time, but a long time at the same time.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
weird.
But so what is kind of your motivating factor? What drives you now and at this point in your business career than when you first started?
So what motivates me now? I think it's it's the younger hairstylist coming up to me and asking me questions or excited to see me when I go to like the barber battles and
Okay.
like different types of hair conventions and people who know who I am and
Right.
like even like the way that some of my other colleagues come up to me and they just make me feel so good and like almost like they trust me in
Right.
doing hair.
Yeah.
When they're asking me questions about products or when they're asking me how to correct a problem in their hair or give them feedback on a competition that they just entered. Like
Right.
I had a braider from Arizona reach out to me on Instagram and asked me if I could help coach her do what I did, which was like mind blowing because I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't, but it was also one of those moments where it's like, people look up to me and
That's awesome.
that's super cool. And I never did anything to be looked up to or to be somebody that like influenced other people.
Right.
As far as hair goes. I just did what I loved and I never stopped. So now that people are looking up to that, I think that is what motivates me now to keep going.
Right.
I don't know what direction in the industry I'm going to go into next. I've dabbled in so many, like the traveling, working with, high-end clients.
Right.
But there's so much more out there. So I think I just want to keep inspiring people to do what they,
Yeah.
they didn't think. So that's my motivation right now is just taking it to another level so other people know that they can take it to another level.
Yeah.
It's not just cutting hair at Great Cliffs. It's so much more than that.
Yes. No, it definitely is. Like I was in awe just watching you, do Riaga's braids or whatever. And
Oh, yeah.
I was like, this is, it's art, it's talent. And so with like people coming up to you, which is great, mentorship is huge. So, you're
Mm-hmm.
obviously a mentor to other people and you've been helping out other people, which is great. Um, do you still seek help and mentorship from others at times, or when you go to meetups and you're networking with people, are you also like still trying to be like a student of your craft?
Oh, always a student. I have people that I like following on Instagram, but I think most of the people that I look up to are my friends that I work with. Even if they're not doing exactly the specialty that I'm doing, we teach each other all of the time. I feel like the moment that you think that you're not a student, you start declining in everything.
Right,
You can learn anything from any type of career or like industry. Like
right,
I pull a lot of my inspiration from art, not even hair. Like most of the stuff that I do doesn't come from another hair page. Maybe a technique
okay,
I can get from somebody who's been doing something longer than me,
right,
or even not longer. Like maybe I just like the way that they use their pinky instead of their index.
yeah,
Like I'll pull that from anybody, but my inspiration for the like hair and art that I create comes from anywhere or anybody.
right.
I mean, even like architect type of work,
Oh, wow. Yeah,
like different things like that is kind of like what I'll pull from. So, yeah, I'll never stop learning, never stop reaching out to other people. If I feel like they do something that I want to learn how to do, I'll just be straightforward and be like, "Hey, can you teach me that?
yeah,
How'd you do that? Why did you do it?" Like
right.
I am the annoying like little fly student that will always be like, "Hey, why'd you do it like that?" And I won't do it to like criticize. It's like, no, like I want to learn how to do that,
Right,
And I love being that person too. And I have other stylists that are like, I want to learn how to do this, but I don't know how to do it yet. And I'm like, come in and shadow.
right,
Come in and I will show you everything I know. That's all I could teach you. But whatever I know that I have that you want to know, I'll give it to you.
yeah,
And I feel like a lot more people are in the industry are like that these days.
yeah. So, just like how you were getting started, in school and whatnot, what would you kind of tell people who are wanting to get into the hair and makeup industry right now if they're just getting started?
If they're just getting started, try everything.
Okay.
Try everything. Don't limit yourself to just what you think that you're really gonna love.
Right.
I would say figure out what you love to do by doing everything, and then figure out who's doing it that you admire, and reach out to them and get a mentorship.
Right.
And don't be entitled to think that you have to get paid for everything right away. I think putting aside that time to volunteer your time
Yeah.
for education is still a trade off.
Right.
And to find people in your city or online that could coach you through it, ask them for help, ask questions. I don't think that anybody who is successful looks down on a younger stylist that just wants to learn.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I think if anything, they would help more. So find a coach, find a mentor, even outside of school that you admire and that is doing what you want to do.
Oh, yeah.
So do everything and find your mentor.
Yeah. I got you. Have you seen a problem with that as far as like people kind of getting right into the entry and then they're just like kind of like doing the money grab? Like, all right, I'm doing
Mm,
hair and I'm gonna be charging this, and that before they really even get like their confidence in doing
yeah.
hair?
And I hate to say that too, but yeah, you definitely run across some people who they're, maybe they got their prices from another stylist they look up to and they just copied it,
Yeah.
or just, and it's hard to say that too because it's just like, if that's what you feel like you are, owed, then who am I to say? But like maybe be a little more lenient on, the growth time period,
Right.
or I don't know. I almost don't want to speak on how other people charge,
Yeah. Yeah.
because, but I have seen it where it's just like, all right, that's a little, that's a little deep for, but also, how are you going to keep your clientele? Like, are you going to have people coming back if you're charging this amount of price, but the work doesn't match it?
Right.
Like, no, you're probably not. They're probably going to end up in my chair.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like with
Right.
love, and it's not because I'm cheaper, it's just because the quality is there. They're
Yeah.
going to go to somebody who has the quality that they're looking for, the consistency, or even just the availability, you
Right.
know? So, I think if people do that, they'll get a reality check from it, you know?
Yeah, and I feel like when it comes to hair, I feel like that would be something you would want to like take your time with, because
Yeah.
I feel like you're one bad like haircut or hair whatever away from like losing a person.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've all been there before. Like I've
Yeah.
gone to barbers and I was like, oh yeah, I'm not going back there. Like
Yeah.
and so I think taking your time and really
Mm-hmm.
perfecting your craft before you get and the money it'll come just like with
Yeah.
anything else.
Yep.
So
Absolutely. And I think that, uh, oh, I just lost it.
no, it happens.
Yeah. My bad.
So overall, whether it be in your personal life, whether it be in business or whatever, what would you say is something you're just still working on in this season of your life right now? What area of
Mm.
Hairica do you want to perfect?
So at this season, it's finding who I am, which sounds crazy,
Yeah,
but as Erica at this age in her career, um, with the things that have gone on in this last year, I feel like sometimes I want to go back to the Erica that I loved the most. And I
okay,
don't mean I don't love myself, but I
right,
love the routines and like how I felt at those years.
right,
But right now it's creating the new Erica at this time, like the woman Erica,
right,
the woman that knows the lessons or that went through the pain or that's still going through the pain. The one that now is like the business has grown, like, so there's a heavier weight and there's more to learn in a detailed way. So it's just finding out who I am right now and loving the past Erica, but letting go of her because
right.
she's not the same,
Yeah,
and really just focusing on it's okay to keep creating the new version of me,
yeah,
instead of
definitely.
going backwards. So that's my biggest lesson right now is just learning to love that I'm evolving into something different and I don't know her yet.
Right.
So give her grace while you learn her and create her.
Yeah, which can be scary because it's change, which is
Mhm.
inevitable, and trying to like react to every single emotion or every little thing that we do and like trying to make reason for everything. And so, but
Yeah.
yeah, giving yourself grace is super key.
It's hard. I
Uh,
think that's a really hard thing for me to
yeah,
do. But I'm doing
yeah, and you're
it.
killing it. So for people who are listening, say they're kind of at a standstill in their life, maybe physically, mentally, with whatever, whether it be work, whether it be business, and they
hmm
just feel kind of stuck. And like, what would you kind of tell somebody who just kind of feels in a rut right now?
I feel like when you're in a rut, the best thing that you can do for yourself is to be self-aware. Is to know what has got you there, identify it, and then figure out the ways to love on yourself to get out of it. Like, how do you cope with things? Like, what makes you happy? A cup of coffee in silence in the morning makes me happy.
Yeah,
So when I feel stuck, I know that if I give myself more time to be able to just sit in silence and have my cup of coffee and not be rushed out of the house,
right.
it makes me feel a little better. Being able to drive around and just listen to music
Yep.
makes me feel better. Turning my phone off makes me feel better. So I think is really being self-aware, because we're always going to go back and forth with these seasons where we're doing really good and we're unstoppable.
Right.
And then we're going to go through the seasons and that is hard to just get up and go, go, go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's life happens, seasons happen. So it's gonna happen. So know yourself well enough to know how to stay centered, or at least bring yourself to a center every once in a while when it happens.
Right.
You know? So self mastery, self awareness is the best thing that you can do. But I mean, on some very cliche, we all know these things.
Yeah.
Go outside and walk.
Yeah.
20 minutes. Go and look up at the sun and close your eyes and just get some vitamin D.
Right.
Drink water.
Yeah.
You know, like all of those things that we know that our body needs, just do them. They're simple, and just do simple stuff for you. And then you'll start slowly feeling like, okay, now I'm going to go to the gym,
Yeah.
maybe. Now I'm going to eat salad or, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know, protein, whatever.
Right.
But once you know what I can do when I don't feel good.
Right.
I know there's 5 things that I'm going to try that I know one of them will work, that will boost my energy just a little bit, just to get through the day.
Right.
You know, so it's like have those in your arsenal.
Yeah.
And then use them.
Yeah. That's powerful. And I think we always forget. It's always like it could be the simplest thing. Like you say, like the walk or the coffee or the music or the not the music or whatever. Like, and we always think it needs to be like some grandiose thing that we have to do to like really get back in the gear. But sometimes it's just like for me, I was like, I'm just gonna take a shower.
Yeah.
Just feel
You know?
cleansed, you know?
Yep. And I think we got to also understand that we have to realize what is taking away from us just as much as what is filling us up. You
Right.
know, like I think that it's easy to always want to consume something to make us feel better.
Right.
But we need to also learn what we're doing that we need to detox from.
Yeah.
You know, like screen time, you know, or I don't know. You know, you just need to also learn to detox and not consume things.
Right.
Because we live in a society where it's always like, take the pill, feel better.
Yeah.
Take the shot, get skinnier.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
and take Adderall, you'll be able to work harder. Like
Right.
we're always consuming all of these things that give us fake energy. But sometimes we need to just detox all of that stuff, you know,
Yeah.
to be able to just get to a center instead of being so hyped up on all of whatever it is.
Right.
So,
Yeah, that's powerful.
and I only know this, I only say it because these are literally the things that I'm going through that I have to learn from,
Right.
you know? So
Yeah.
these are the things that I'm doing for myself because I struggle with these things too,
Right.
you know? So it's what I learned and it works. So if it works for me, maybe it'll work for you. I don't see why I wouldn't.
Yeah. I feel you. So I had a couple final questions for you. I want to be respectful of your time. But before I ask these questions, I do want to acknowledge you for a sec, and just acknowledge you for the bravery of kind of going against the status quo and going against what your parents, you know, thought they wanted for you, and to really create your own path. And acknowledge you for continuing on that and like the growth that you have done both physically in your craft, but like also, you know, the work that you put into yourself on the inside, physically, mentally, spiritually, and getting to the point to where like you do have a very successful business and, you know, you are thriving and, you know, you create your own path, you make your own rules. And so that's not something that everybody would have the bandwidth to do for so long. And you've been doing it for a decade and still has so many years left to go. And, you know, just smiling through it all and being, you know, just so happy and so giving. And I think giving is huge. You know, it says about better to give than receive. And, you know, and you're giving your time, your effort, your compassion and everything. So I'm proud of you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I received that. It's so beautiful. Thank you.
Yes. All right. Next question. So this question is called The Three Truths.
Ooh.
Yeah. So this is a hypothetical scenario.
Okay.
You can live on this planet Earth for as long as you want. You know, you can live to 120, 140, whatever.
Okay.
And in that time, you achieve everything you want. You know, maybe you want to write books, or, you know, you have your own string of salons, or you get to work with all the cool people you would always want to do, or bring all the hair you want to do. And, you know, maybe you're on the cover of Maybelline or Forbes or whatever, and you have all these accolades. But whenever your time is up, none of that gets left here on earth, and we have none of that to remember you by.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing we do have to remember you by is a piece of paper with 3 truths that you think to be true as you see life as a
Mm-hmm.
whole. What would your 3 truths be on that piece of paper?
Well, I know my very first one would be to serve others. Um, to serve others wholeheartedly is something that I think the world should live by.
Right.
It's what I live by, and I think that's why I can, I've been blessed to be in the position that I've created for myself is
Right.
because service. So service is first. Um, golly, the second one would definitely be to love your people right now, to make people feel uncomfortably loved no matter what. Even if they're not huggers or, even if they're not good with compliments,
Right.
give it to them right now, anyways. Because we just don't know when
Right.
the last time we'll see them. And to believe in yourself so much that you get to do whatever you want,
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean like with money or anything, but you can just be who you are and you don't have to pretend around anybody in the room,
Right.
So those would be my 3, I would have to say.
That's beautiful.
Thanks.
Yes. And the final question
Okay.
is, in this season of your life, what does LIV'N mean to you?
In this season of my life, what does living mean to me? Living is living through the mess right now. Living through the ugly parts of us.
Right.
Not always being the sunshine, but sometimes being the storm.
Yeah.
And weathering it.
Right.
So, living is sometimes living in the mess and being okay with it, but also working towards,
Right.
a different season,
Yeah.
So that's what it means to me.
I love it. That's powerful. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on, everybody. Hairica, Baca.
Hey.